one that changes how you see the world, yourself, and those you love? Well, my next guest is a parent carer caring for a child who has ASD. So sit back, relax, and grab your favorite beverage, and let's learn more about her and her amazing story. See you there.
I wanna believe in the truth, but only see what I'm shown. Got the freedom to choose, but can't decide on my own. Follow what the group is thinking, bottle up my intuition till it's popping up.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Inside the Asperger Studios. Today I'm joined with
Mhm.
Loretta Lee. Welcome to the show, Loretta.
Hi, thank you, Reid, for inviting me. It's really lovely of you to do that,
So,
and
why don't
I'm
we
glad to
start
be
off
here.
with, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay, me, well, as you can see, I'm not English. I'm not Caucasian. I'm actually from Malaysia, and we live in Malaysia for quite a while. And my husband is British, and I have twin girls. One of it is number one is with ASD, autistic spectrum disorder, and the other one at that time was like normal. So I have two children, and we're very happy. Then we noticed that she actually don't like to read and can't read, but she's very clever. She'll look at things, very unusual things, look at how things work and all that. And she's always very focused on certain things that interest her. So I noticed there was some difference in that. And when I asked her anything, like kids 1 to 3 to 5 years old, oh, what is this? And the child will say, oh, this is what A, B, C, and all that. So she got it right. But when I asked her again, she won't do it anymore.
Hmm.
So that's something that I find was quite weird, but not necessarily weird now that I understand why she's not doing it. Because to her, it's a waste of time. She knows it already. But we parents like to enjoy ourselves to say, oh, my child is so bright. My child can say this is the book, this is the box, or whatever. So to her, it's irrelevant. So now I understand.
Now, when was the first time you really had to say to yourself, I really need to become an advocate for my daughter?
Well, I think before we go to that stage, I noticed that I got her diagnosed with dyslexia and I cried, you know.
Hmm.
And then, of course, we have to put her to a new school. There's only one school in Malaysia that does inclusive education, and she was bullied there. So I have to fight for her. I have to talk to the teachers. I have to sort things out for her. And sometimes in Malaysia, I remember when they were in kindergarten, of course, the kindergarten are not like qualified teachers. They're just ladies who help there and work there, and maybe they do some teaching. And you come and tell me, your daughter can't read. She cannot read. Then I was thinking, why are you complaining to me? You're the teacher. You should teach her how to read.
Hmm.
So they said, no, you're repeating this page, you're repeating this page. I said, okay, if she can't do it, just go to another page. But at that time, people were not aware of all these things, so I have to put up with that. And she was really unhappy. I could see that. Yeah.
Now, when was that specific moment you realized you needed to speak up and you said, if I don't speak up, who will then?
Yeah, of course, because when she goes to school at that time, she was bullied. So I have to speak up for her. And then when we came, because you see, since it was so difficult to get into a special school in Malaysia, there's only one. I tried to go into politics. I tried to push, but it was quite hard and slow. So I told my husband, just come over to the UK. And she came over to the UK, and then we went through all the rigmarole and all that. And I went through all the local pediatrician so that she can have a recommendation to go to camps, you see. So when she was sent to camps, which is the children and adolescents mental health services, so within the first meeting with the pediatrician, he says she's got autism. And from there, we got the label. And with that label, I can access to a lot of services. And because of her behavior in school, I mean, her behavior in school was okay when we first came over. They were 10, my twin girls were 10. And at that time, they got along quite well with the peers. But when she started going to high school, the differences in the communication and the emotional gap widens. So it ended up that she's being bullied, laughed on, and all that. And she will always come and tell me that so and so bullied me. Are you sure? And then the other sisters, no, she didn't bully me. Said, no, she's bullying me. So I have to say, go and call. So I said, okay, I'll call the school. And she will come back to me every day, almost every day, to say that, oh, she's bullying me. You can report to the police. I said, can you do that? He said, yeah. I said, how do you know? Oh, I went to the internet and it's there. You look at the website, the school website, it's there. I said, okay, fine. So she will come back to me and I will report to the police, almost every day. So that's how, and then because I come from a very happy family. My childhood is very happy, and my parents and us have a very strong bond. And sometimes we just sit around in the evening and we crack jokes and build family bonds. And I wanted that for my family, but I couldn't do that because she's autistic.
Mm.
So I was quite, I mean, there's something which I never got to do. But then um, when we were writing down the experience, so it got so bad that when she asked me to ring the police, I'll ring and then she'll explain to me and I tell it to the police, and it's like passing the message. So after a few times, I told her, look, when you come back, if you got a complaint, tell me first and I'll write it down. And then after that, I'll ring the police. So we did that a few times. And all the time, I was trying to crack jokes to try to get to her. And then one day, we were writing and she was cracking a joke. And we were talking about, things like poop, what happened to poop and did you flush the toilet and all. And she cracked a joke. And then suddenly I said, good, this is the breakthrough. I was so happy that she can crack a joke with me. So I think that one actually, strengthened our bond. But it's a very difficult mother and daughter relationship because she doesn't know, like certain things that she do or say is very
Hmm.
hurtful. So that's the thing that I get most, that gets into me. Yeah.
I mean, I totally get that. I mean, being someone myself who's autistic, it's not, it's that not knowing what's right and wrong to say at the right or wrong time. It's, you
Yes.
have that feeling in your head of, do I say this or do I hold it? I mean, I remember stories of my parents sitting there telling a story to somebody like at a family dinner and they get something wrong in the story. And I immediately in my mind go, I need to correct them. And later my parents will pull me aside and go, you know, you embarrassed me. You should have waited till afterwards. And my mind thinking, why? Wouldn't you rather be correct than not correct?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when did you t decide to tell your daughter that she was autistic, and how did she take the diagnosis? How did she handle it?
You see, when I actually the time when she went to see the pediatrician, the first time was my husband who took her there, and then she was autistic, and she doesn't want to be known as autistic. In
Hmm.
fact, I joined the Autistic Association, National Autistic Association of in the UK. Then I put my name and her name. Then the magazine came. Then she asked, what is this, mommy? I said, this is the National Autistic Society. I subscribe to them. Then why do you put your name? I said, I have to put your name because you're the one who was. No, I don't want to be autistic. Take my name away. So she doesn't want to be known as she's autistic. She may have a reason because, as you know, when you have a label, it's difficult for her socially.
Yeah.
But then she knows that she is autistic. Yeah. I
No.
remember one
Well,
incident, one incident when
mhm.
she was in year five, the first time we came over here. At home, she's quite difficult sometimes. She will like burst and she'll do a lot of things, and then, but in school, all the teachers say, oh, she's very well behaved, she's very smart, and all that. So one day I was sitting down with her and I said, at home you're very naughty, you're very disobedient, you do things and then you don't clean up after yourself, blah, 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 blah. But then in school, your teacher says you're very good. You're very smart. I said, why? Why is there a difference? She says, Mommy, it's like the kettle. In the morning, the kettle start to boil. When I come home, the kettle boils over. So what she's trying to say is so clear that when in the morning when she goes to school, it's like we are putting the kettle on the heat on the flame, and then it blows over at the end of the day. Yeah, and I'm so amazed that she could use that
Mhm.
analogy, which is
Yeah,
so apt, you know?
it is such a that is such a good way of describing overstimulation. You start
Yeah,
off the day with very little stimulation, but you go the minute you get into school, you get so overstimulated. The minute you come home, it's like a meltdown. And
yeah.
then I'm sure your daughter has got like her room set in a certain way where it's quiet or so she can calm down, so where she can come back out of her room and be normal and be able
To
to
be honest, to be honest, her room is full of things, too many things, and she feels like it's a cave.
mm.
Yeah, it's a cave.
Now, what's been one of the biggest battles you had to fight with the school system, doctors, or even within your own community?
Actually, we are quite when we came here, we don't really know anybody. My husband works over, I mean, outstation we call it, and he's out of town and only comes back with the weekend. So it's all left to me, and it's
Mm.
very frustrating. Because to me, I used to be like I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own business in Malaysia before I came over, seven figures and all that. So when I came over, it's a total change for me. But it's the change that I have to do because I'm the mother, you know.
Mhm.
So to me, it's very challenging. So and to have these two people at home and all the stress that comes with it. Later on, not when she was in year five, but as she grow older, there's a lot of stress. So I decided to do a part-time business that is like catalog dropping, to people's house, and then I collect the orders and I send the orders. And that was the one that kept me sane. So the biggest challenge that I have with her is the school bully,
Mm.
dealing with the school bully. You know, the other agencies like this and the school itself, which I felt at that time was not really doing much, but I try to, when I say push means I try to do it in a way that I don't antagonize, the school. And she had a lot of problem in school as well in terms of her social being and schoolwork and all that. But she's always very, very good in her schoolwork. Whatever things that needs to be done, she will complete it.
Mhm.
Everything will be up. Everything will be there. Every little thing she will tell me. And she takes up so much of my time until the other one was like, I try to be very, very fair, but by default, my time has to be spent on her, you know. So the biggest challenge was the family dynamics.
Mhm.
Not that I want to, but the other one feel left out. And at least she speaks to me and told me how she felt. And that gave me an opportunity to explain to her why I'm doing certain things. And she tells me, Mommy, why is that, Katrina? She gets away with everything. She doesn't have to do her chores and all that. So I explained to her why, I have to treat you as a normal person, not a person with autism.
Mhm.
So do you want me to treat you like you have autism? Do you want to be like what she has, what she feels in school? All the people, looking down on her and bullying her. Do you want to be that? She says, no. I said, yeah. I don't want to treat you like this. I want to treat you normal. I want to make sure that you have the living skills to take care of yourself. When you're an adult, you go to work or you go to university, you can take care of yourself. So I have the opportunity, of course, there are many instances, to explain to her, you know. So that's why I feel that I'm now doing a course, my coaching program for caregivers. And this is one of the main thing I feel that sometimes as caregivers, we feel that, okay, it is the best thing, it is the most important thing to do is to give up our life and take care of, the cared for and forget about ourselves. But then actually it's not the best thing to do. We lose ourselves. So as a parent
Mhm.
carer, I'm very aware of that and I've gone through that as well at one stage, focusing on her, like, I was like everything was in tip-top condition. So for example, when I went to a lot of meetings. Once she was diagnosed, we were given a list of meetings to go when the parents go for organized by charity or organized by the school and the local council on how to help your child with special needs. And every time when I go there, I see the parents are very angry and they're also going to fight for the services, fight for this, fight for that. So I told myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that the people who are supposed to support me are happy to support me and love to support me. And I went on that strategy and it worked. You see, so my biggest issue was gaining the support of the agencies. But the main thing that
Mhm.
I have problem with is actually the school bully and the school's system of not totally addressing it. Yeah.
Mhm. Now,
The
you
other
said,
the other agencies, the other agencies like the police, the special needs education, the school and all that, they were marvelous. They were very, very supportive. The social services were very, very supportive. Even autism outreach was very, very supportive. Yeah.
now you said she's got a twin sister. How
Yeah.
helpful is the sister? Her sister.
How
Is
what?
she helpful with her? Does she help her out? Does she like explain things to her?
She does. She does. In fact, when she was in year five, I mean, my other daughter, she's very good at storytelling, and both of them are quite up to date in current affairs. So sometimes in the school, she told me herself, no, number two told me herself that, oh, today the teacher asked us something about skeletons and things like that. And then how many skeletons are there in your body? And then actually, I know Katrina said it, and then some of the boys said, how does she know all this answer? Then I said, do you know the answer? She said, yes, I do. So why did you say, oh, I want to let her shine. I want
Hmm.
to let her shine. I said, actually, you shouldn't. If you know the answer, you should be yourself. I know you care for your sister, but you mustn't pull yourself down to be
Hmm.
below her. You have your own way of doing things. You can bloom in your own ways. You can grow in your own ways. I want you to be yourself. Of course, I know you care about your sister, but don't put yourself down because of her. So I really told her that not to really put herself down. Yeah.
Now, have you had to deal with professionals kind of downplay your concerns with your daughter?
I don't think so. I think you see, when she was first diagnosed, before she went for diagnosis, when I was looking at the pediatrician, one of the charity team told me, you actually need to write a list of things of what happened, her behavior, before the consultant know that she has autism. So I make a list of things since the time when she was born, her character and all that. That was me advocating for her. So when I said that to the consultant, they were quite shocked. What were you? What are you? I said, I'm a housewife. Oh, that's very good. You give me this, it's very, very good. So they were very helpful, and I try to follow their, what do you call that, their advice. And there are also instances when I go for this meeting, for example, sometimes they have like solicitors, or we call that lawyers, that will tell you how to deal with school if the school is not supporting your daughter or your child, and if your child is being bullied, or if the school system is not supporting her, how do you write these letters to the head teacher?
Mhm.
So there was one instance where I said, oh, I'm going to see the head teacher because of her, being bullied. And then the next meeting, I wasn't there. And then that solicitor remembered me that I wanted to go and see the head teacher. And he said, actually, I brought a sample of the letter. At that time, nobody, the internet was not so good. So she said, oh, can you pass this to her? So I followed that letter to the head teacher and I submitted to
Mhm.
him before I met him. So when I had the meeting with him, everything was very cordial, good, non-confrontational. And I also make sure that when I start, I told him, I said, Mr. Thomas, I'm here not to fight with you. I'm here because my daughter has a problem with another of your students, pupils. When they grow up, they'll be in the community. So here we are, we're trying to solve this problem before it goes to the community. And I think that was the thing that was helpful in setting the stage for our, successful communication. But of course, it didn't really cut down, but they tried. We have quite a lot of meetings and all that. But the bullying still continue, but not as much. But not as much. Yeah.
Now, have you ever thought you were labeled that mom just because you were asking for what your daughter deserves?
No. In fact, in fact, when I was working with the local council with the special needs, with the social worker, and because when they were in Form 6, we split school because my second daughter didn't want to be in the same school as her, which is good. She needs her own identity.
Hmm.
So I remember the day before she went to high school, okay, about the week before school reopens, that is after the summer holidays. This is a new school that she's going to, and then from high school. And then because I have been advocating for her, the school knew about her case and things like that. So before the school opens, the school actually invited me for a meeting, invited me and my daughter. And when I went there, you know who were in the meeting? The vice principal,
Mm.
the SEN head, the SEN assistant, which was her class teacher, the police,
Mm.
two social workers, one person from Autism Outreach, myself, and my daughter. So eight of us sitting in a big conference room talking about one person, my daughter's future. And I was so grateful. I was so, so grateful. And they lay out a plan of what are the things they want to do. So I think I've been very well supported. And another incident was, and after that, every time we have a meeting, there were about six of them talking about my daughter. So, and I myself, I want to create good relationship with them. So I have my way of doing it. I love to cook. So sometimes I make biscuits or cakes or whatever. I'll just give, oh, this is something for you. So that's my way of showing appreciation. So one day while we were having a meeting with them, so after that, I said, look, ladies, I really like to thank you. You have been so much support. Oh, sorry, it's my alarm. You have been giving me so much support. So I'd like to thank you. And then I'm really, very, very grateful. Thank you very much. Then she says, Loretta, at least you want support. Then I said, you mean there are people who do not want support? He said, yeah, there are a lot of people who do not want our support.
Hmm.
I said, why? I said, oh yeah, I know why. Because I could understand because when I first started having going to get help. I don't even know where to get help. I don't even know where to start. And I felt so ashamed. And I felt that
Hmm.
I was the only one in the whole world that have this problem. So I was crying and all that. Almost every day I was crying. So I didn't even know what to go for help. And I go for this meeting, and every time they talk about something, I say, yeah, she's like that. And I will tear up. So I told myself, I'm not going anymore. But later I did go. So I can understand why people do not want help. So I told them, I've been chanting lately. I'm a Buddhist, so I chant. So it's like a prayer. So I said, I've been chanting for the universe to help me. I'm chanting for divine intervention. So whatever help that's given to me, I will take. You know, so the lady says, yes, we will give you the help, and we're glad that you're taking the help. So I think it goes on both ways. You have to be willing to accept the help instead of fighting it off unconsciously. A lot of people are fighting it off unconsciously. And another instance I'd like to highlight is that I mean, she was very difficult and she was put in the special school. And every morning there'll be two-person from the social services to pick her up from the school to go to at my house to go to a special school where she does the online learning. And once a week they'll take her out for social activity to improve her social and communication
Hmm.
skill. And after that, we had some issues and all that, because of the way she perceived things are happening to her. And then we had one meeting with the manager, and I was quite proud, when I had the meeting with the other support workers. The manager says, Loretta is very easy to work with. She's very open, and whatever she says, she works with us. She's very open and very easy to deal with. So I think I struck a note because a lot of parents are quite resistant, and a lot of parents they think that, oh, It is always, I deserve this, I deserve this. So my stance is that I'm working with them to solve the problem, which is not them, but my daughter.
Hmm.
So I think that takes the pressure off them to focus on my daughter. Yeah.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head in several points, and one of the big ones is you said there are parents who don't want the support, and the reason is they don't like that label of being their child being disabled. The minute you call your child autistic, in their mind, it's like, my child can't do this. And they don't want that label. But what they don't understand is that label comes with
Correct.
an entire village of support.
Yes,
And
it's the key, to open the door. Yeah.
what you did with your daughters, with your
Yeah.
daughter, is you opened that door and said, I need your
Yeah.
support. I need your help.
Yes. Yes.
And you explained to your daughter that this help, regardless of the fact that you don't want to be called autistic, is going to get you through school. It's going to give you the help you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. And I think later on, she did make use of that label to her advantage to do things that she doesn't want to do, to get help that she thinks she can get help. She can use that label to her advantage.
Now, do you feel like there's still a lot of misunderstanding out there when it comes to girls on the spectrum?
I don't really mix around with other parents because autism there's different level.
Hmm.
Some of them are very severe, and now it's been quite a while. She's already 28, so I'm dealing with adult issues now. But I still find that the school issue is very, very important to be able to access the support that you get. So yeah, so now I'm in a group for carers, which are not only caring for children, but also older or caring for adults. And each autistic person has a different need,
Hmm.
different interests, and different medical issues and things like that. I have a few parents who are carers for their children, and the son actually loved football, and she got herself associated with the Leicester Football Club and things like that. So each child is different.
Have you come across anybody who said to you that either your child is doesn't look autistic or she's just shy? And how do you deal with that?
Initially, when she was younger, when we were in Malaysia, it was like she was shy and her behavior later on was a bit of odd. So at that time, I didn't know that she was autistic. So I felt quite bad, but I didn't like blame her or whatever. It's something that I have to accept. But later on,
Hmm.
I think to me, the label means, as you say, nothing except opening the door to get help. That's all.
Now,
Mm.
what myths or stereotypes about autism in girls do you find yourself constantly pushing back against?
What do you mean?
Are there any myths about autism in girls that you find that are wrong when it comes to like raising your own daughter? Do you kind of see like people saying things like this, like girls who are autistic can't do this or that, and then you see your daughter saying, "No, I can do all this."
No, I don't really come across people like that. No, not really. Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you found your voice growing stronger through your journey?
Yes. Yes. So I tend to advocate for, people who are bullied, and I tend to like if people are autistic, and then I find that, I thought I'm a very compassionate person before all this.
Hmm.
But then with an autistic child, with a special needs child, compassion becomes a different level altogether.
Yes, it
It is
does.
so, so, so much more to being compassionate. And now I understand why people don't understand autism. And before I became a mom of an autistic person, young person or child, and then I wouldn't know what autism is all about. And I have sometimes in my group parents of autism says, "Oh, I was in this place, and these people were nasty. Uh, they were saying my child was doing this and playing in the playground and all like that, and they were making a big fuss because the person has a meltdown and all that. Don't they know that they're autistic, and they go and post it on Facebook and all those stuff, and complaining that people don't understand. So I
Hmm.
think as a parent of an autistic child, we have to look it from a very balanced point of view, because unless you have an autistic child or you know someone very close to you who is autistic, you will not know the behavior. You would not know what is it to be autistic. So I think being a mom, we should actually let go a bit and be more, not to be so expect people to understand, because people won't. And you're
Hmm.
only giving yourself grief if you were to do that.
Now, what has your daughter taught you about being autistic? I mean, has she shown you a whole other side to herself?
She, I think she is a very kind person,
Hmm.
and a kind and quite a friendly person. But because of her autistic trait and the communication skill, she becomes like an outcast. Like,
Mm.
because of the way she say things and do things, that people don't want to be with her. But deep down, even when both of them were young, they were very, very kind people, very loving people.
And it's so true. I mean, people do misunderstand us because of the way we talk, the way we go about
Yes.
things, the way we show things, the fact that we carry our emotions on the outside and that we're either labeled over emotional not or not emotional enough or we're
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah, yeah. And the words that she used can be very hurtful,
Hmm.
even to me, even now, can be very, very hurtful. And I have to tell her that's not acceptable. But I think her trait is that she feels that she knows everything. That's the issue. She knows everything, and she won't take any advice.
Now, do you see yourself advocating for other families besides your own?
Yeah, if I have the opportunity, yes. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Where do you go when you need backup, like support groups, other parents, online spaces? I mean, you talked about your parts of groups. How have they
Yes.
helped you with raising your daughter?
Actually, the group that I have actually is very challenging raising her. Now looking back, I put in a lot of effort. But I think the carers group that we have, which is a local carers group, which me and a few other people form, it's not like the carers group that's formed by the local council or some charities where they invite all the caregivers to tea or whatever and have biscuits for 2 hours and somebody to talk about, like, making your wills, how to get social help, how to put them in housing, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, we go back, we don't make any friendship. But the one that we're having now is by carers for carers. So our group is only for our self-care. We don't do counseling. We just talk to each other. And every fortnight, we used to have art class. Even during COVID, we have art class online. Now we have mindfulness. We also have like a fashion show. We have to raise funds. So every year we have a fashion show where we are the models. And then we also have a Christmas do. We also have like a day out in spa, and also sometimes Christmas shopping or summer shopping, something like that. So we do more for ourselves. And I'm also in some of the other online carers group. Yeah.
Right. Now, what would you say to a parent who's feeling completely overwhelmed and alone right now?
Yes, I know. I've been through it before. There is help. There
Hmm.
is help. And it's so important to reach out for information, because a lot of the people in my carers group it says, "Oh, I have a child with special needs. I don't know this information. I don't know that information." So I think the mentality, I'm not sure about the US, but the mentality here is they expect information to be given to them once they have a child with a special needs. So to me, it's very simple. We don't know anything, we have to go for help. That's why it's so important to attend all the meetings that is recommended by the school or the charities of this or the local council. And in this meeting, you will get help from people who will be able to help you to apply for certain things, apply for certain budget, um, where to go to get help, get access to legal access as well. So it's very important to start to go out, to meet all these people. It will take you some time to find the right one for you. So to get help, you really need to go out and get the help. You know, that's very, very important. And
Now,
to combat loneliness, you have to go out. Yes.
that's so important that parents need to understand. You're right that you just can't expect things to come to you. You gotta put your hand out.
Yeah,
You gotta seek that help. Otherwise, you're just gonna
correct.
sit there struggling and fighting when you can just put your hand out and say, I need this help. I need your help.
Yes. I learned that beginning I was quite resistant. I think mainly because I do not know what to do, where to go. But it took me a few years, 2 to 3 years to actually get the feel of things and I got better and better. Yeah.
Now, if you could change anything in the schools or society or even the medical system, what would you change?
I think the school has to have better system to monitor or manage students or pupils with autism. There
Mhm.
should be more support and understanding of their needs, which a lot of schools don't have because they lack funding. So that's the main thing that I think should be having. And I think education opportunities. She did have some education opportunities, but because she's autistic, she couldn't really appreciate it. So I think given I have to work a lot on it, and not many parents have the opportunity to work a lot on their needs. So I think parents really need to go out, and the school needs to be more proactive in giving the information. Yeah,
That's so important. I mean, yeah, you're right. The school needs to say, hey, we can give you this help. We can offer this to you.
yeah,
Just, yeah, I mean, they need to communicate with everybody. I mean, they need the programs too. And I think both in the UK and in the US and just about everywhere, the problem
yeah,
lies that there
yeah.
isn't the adequate teaching and how to deal with someone who's
Correct.
autistic.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a lot of resources. It
Hmm.
does. It does take a lot of resources. I'm not sure about the US. I think each state is different. Some have to pay for it, some are free. I don't know. I don't know how it works over there. But I
No, in the
think I think
US,
the mental, yeah, sorry.
in the US, yeah, it's no, it's the same all over. It's you have to fight for you to get those resources. You gotta get diagnosed.
Yeah,
And finding the right person, finding the right doctor to do the diagnosis. You just can't get diagnosed by any doctor. It's got to be a doctor who specializes in giving the
correct.
autism assessment.
Correct, correct. And I think in right now, a lot of people are actually paying for private assessment.
Hmm.
Yeah, but those assessors are the one that's recognized, not just any assessor. Yeah.
Now, do you think that society is making progress in how we support neurodivergent kids, or do you think there's a long road ahead of us?
I think there's more recognition and more acceptance and a wider understanding of neurodivergence. And in fact, there's a lot of special needs teacher and a lot of neurodivergent people who are actually going into companies to help the
Mhm.
companies to formulate more friendly neurodivergence employees, how to support them. And in school as well, they're getting to be better, but of course, you know, if it's a new teacher, it's still a learning curve. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Although those people who already gone through a lot, they know what they are doing, but there'll be new teachers coming in, and that is the one that we need that sort of education for them, the education to be able to see and to be able to equip to help those neurodivergent pupils.
Now, what's the message you hope your daughter hears every time you stand up for her?
Sorry, can you say that again?
What's the message you hope your daughter hears every time you stand up for her?
That I am pro her, yes, and I have the best interest for her, and sometimes she doesn't see it, but it's okay. So the message is, I always tell her, be yourself. You will find your way. You may not find your way now. You do not know what you're good at, but you will. You will. Every one of us has a unique opportunity to contribute to society. You just have to find it. It may take a while. Yeah.
I mean, it's so true. It's like the saying, find your people. You'll find the
Yeah.
people that you fit in with, and then
Yeah.
you will flourish.
Yeah. I'm sure you did that. I can see you're now a podcaster. And then you do computer science. Is it a full-time job? Podcasting is a full-time job? No.
Yes, this is my full, yeah, podcasting is my full-time job.
Wow. Good. Fantastic.
Thank you. Now, do you ever think about the kind of advocate your daughter may grow into because of you?
I've yet to see that. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see that, to be honest. Yeah. But one thing I'm sure that people who are autistic has a very great sense of justice, right?
Mhm.
She's always fighting for the truth.
It's so true. I mean, people are fighting for the truth. They're fighting to say, hey, my son or daughter is autistic. They need the support you want to give them.
Yeah.
Now, if you had one message for the world about raising an autistic daughter, what would it be?
My message is don't give up. It's tough at times. You have to look at the brighter side and don't give up. You can always make the connection. You are the carer, you are the parent. So your role is to make sure that she blossom as to what she can be, not what you hope she would be. Even
Mhm.
though I say you hope she could be, but we shouldn't give up hope that she can be better than what she is today. Yeah.
Now, for moms starting this journey, what's the one thing you want them to hear loud and clear?
So for moms starting the journey with a special needs child with autism, stay positive, learn as much as you can, support them with all your heart, unconditional support and love.
Now, if somebody is listening right now and thinking, I'm not sure how to help, what would you tell them?
What do you mean? I'm not here to help. Sorry.
If they want to help you or they don't know how to help their own child, what would you tell them?
If they don't know, go and find out. Go to the school. The first place is go to the school, go to the GP, your doctor, and ask for help. They will have a lot of sort of a reference point that you can go. And the best thing is the school. The first step is the school.
That's so true. I mean, the school is there to help. They're not there to watch your child fail. They're there to actually help you raise your child, educate your child, but they're also there
Correct.
to advocate for your child when they're in school, they're the advocate at that time.
Yeah. And I think we should, as parents, we should be mindful that that's how we see them. If we don't see them as the child's advocate or the child's support, we tend to don't value them so much and it becomes a fighting game. My
Mhm.
child is not getting this. My child is not getting that. Instead of going with the thing that you are advocating for my child. So we have to work together. So I think that's a very important thing that parents should be aware to go with
Mhm.
the right mindset because to me the mindset is very, very important.
Now, what is one action people can take today to be a better advocate for autistic girls?
Autistic girls. I'm just wondering why you say it's autistic girls, but I don't have any um, direct or very close connection with autistic boys. To be the advocate is just to accept them for what they are, protect them, show
Mhm.
them the way, and advocate for them, speak up for them.
Now, how do you stay hopeful? I mean, what keeps you going for the tough days? I know you have a lot of tough days. There's times when your daughter, like you said, isn't the most polite person when she comes home. What keeps you hopeful? What keeps you going?
Good question. Good question. I've always believed that she can be better. When I say better means doesn't mean earn money or whatever. She can be a better person, have more life, has more what's the word that I say? More satisfaction by being herself and not being somebody else, And I think she does have, well, I believe and I think she does have the capacity to do that. It's just that it's not now. It's not shown up yet. And
Hmm.
I believe that she can be. She can be somebody.
I mean, that's the message right there. She could be somebody. The problem is we get overlooked so many times. Society overlooks us because we're different than the norm. And it's like, okay, we don't want to train this person because they're different than everybody else, but yet we could also be better than everybody else in that job because of the way our
Hmm.
mind thinks.
Yeah, right now my daughter is not working.
Hmm.
She's living with me. So I'm very hopeful that she will find her route. She'll find her way. So I try not to push her to certain areas or whatever. So she needs to find her way. She needs to feel what's the right thing for her. And I'm there to make sure that she has the opportunity to do that.
Um, has your daughter found her special interest?
Not really. She's good at certain things. She's good at astronomy. She's very interested in astronomy now, but she really need to go do something which hopefully is useful for her and society.
Now, does she have any sensory issues?
Overloading of overload sensory issue. Yes, overload. So that's why it's quite difficult for her to be in very crowded places, but she's getting better now. She can go out on her own to do like a short trip and things like that. And she communicates well and far more better at times when she feels like she has to do it or she wants to do it. Yeah, highly intelligent.
And that's it, everybody. That was Loretta Lee on Reid Miles. And I just want to end by saying she wasn't handed a roadmap, just a daughter, a diagnosis, and a heart that refused to quit in the world that's too often overlooking autistic girls. She's become the voice that wouldn't be silenced. Her advocacy isn't loud, it's steady. It whispers in bedtime stories, written in emails to school, spoken in every no that's not good enough. That's what first love looks like. Not flashy, but unshakable. Not perfect, but powerful. A mother's fight isn't just for her child, but for every girl who has been misunderstood, misdiagnosed, or missed entirely. So here's to the mothers building bridges where walls once stood. May your voice carry, your courage ripple, your daughter's light shine in all the spaces where the world still needs to wake up. And I'm Reid Miles, and that's Loretta Lee, and I want to remind you, you're not alone. Thank you, Loretta.
Thank you, Miles. Miles, thank you so much for having me. And I'm glad that I can share my journey. And I hope to inspire some people to move along.
And I'll see you in the next one, everybody.